September 2024, WordCamp US. The lights dim, the chatter quiets. Matt Mullenweg steps to the podium. His voice is calm, his face unreadable. And then, with a single sentence, he detonates the room. WP Engine is a cancer to WordPress. The air freezes. A billion-dollar hosting company, suddenly branded as a parasite by the man who co-created the platform itself. Within weeks, Automatic blocks WP Engine from WordPress.org updates. Millions of sites go dark. Courtrooms fill with lawyers. Lawsuits fly across jurisdictions. Judges are forced to intervene, warning of irreparable harm. It is the most direct show of power in WordPress history, and it tears away the illusion that has always hung over the project. WordPress was born as a symbol of freedom, but how much freedom can exist when control still rests in one pair of hands? To understand how the web's most open project became one of its most fragile, we need to go back to 2003, to a forgotten blogging script, to the spark that started it all. In the early 2000s, blogging was raw, messy, and full of experimentation. One platform, B2 Cafelog, had a small following, but its creator, Michel Valdrighi, had vanished. The project was abandoned, its code frozen in time. In Houston, a teenager named Matt Mullenweg wrote on his blog, "What if we fork it?" The internet answered. From the UK, developer Mike Little left a comment. "If you're serious about forking B2, count me in." Together, they launched WordPress 0.7. The name, suggested by Matt's friend Christine Tremollet, was simple, clean, easy to remember. It didn't make headlines. No one knew this fork would one day dominate the internet, but the fuse was lit. By 2004, WordPress had plugins. In 2005, themes arrived. Kubrick, a minimalist blue and white theme, became the new face of blogging. Then a mistake by Movable Type, the reigning market leader, changed everything. They introduced new license fees. Bloggers revolted. WordPress was waiting. Free, open, GPL licensed. The migration began. Thousands left Movable Type behind. WordPress had its first surge, not from advertising or marketing campaigns, but from the most powerful force of all, freedom. But freedom is never simple. By 2005, Matt founded Automatic. Its flagship product was WordPress.com, a hosted platform for anyone to start a blog instantly. And confusion began. WordPress.org was the free self-hosted software. WordPress.com was Automatic's hosted service. Same brand, different products. To this day, many people still don't know the difference. Two WordPresses, one name. Meanwhile, the theme and plugin economy exploded. Developers made fortunes selling premium designs. But not everyone played by the rules. Some argued that their work wasn't bound by the GPL license. The most famous of these rebels was Chris Pearson, creator of the Thesis theme. Matt disagreed. He argued that themes were derivative of WordPress itself and therefore had to be licensed under the GPL. The fight escalated. Lawyers circled. The community took sides. In 2010, Pearson relented. Thesis went GPL. Matt had won. The message was clear. You could profit from WordPress, but only within the boundaries set by its founder. Freedom was non-negotiable, but it was freedom on WordPress's terms. That same year, the WordPress Foundation was created. The trademark was transferred from Automatic to the new entity. Publicly, it was framed as a safeguard, a way to protect WordPress from corporate capture. But the trademark still remained under strict control, tightly policed. At the same time, WordCamps were spreading around the world. These community conferences were the lifeblood of WordPress culture. But they too came with rules. They had to be non-profit. They had to comply with the GPL. They had to be approved by the foundation. The grassroots had limits, and the limits were defined at the top. Meanwhile, the software itself was evolving. WordPress 3.0 introduced custom post types and multi-site. It was no longer just a blogging tool. It had become a full content management system. Newspapers, universities, and even governments started adopting it. As WordPress expanded into a full CMS, scale and reliability became just as important as themes and plugins. Running WordPress isn't just about installing themes or plugins. It's about performance, reliability, and security at scale. And that's exactly what Kinsta was built for. With Kinsta, you get automatic scaling, daily backups, built-in caching, and a dedicated security team watching over your sites 24/7. And if you ever need help, you're talking to real WordPress experts. Whether you're running a personal blog, an online store with WooCommerce, or managing dozens of client sites, Kinsta gives you the freedom to focus on building while they handle the infrastructure. Trusted by agencies, developers, and businesses worldwide, Kinsta has plans designed to grow with you, from starter sites to enterprise. Switch your hosting to Kinsta and get your first month free, plus a 30-day money-back guarantee to make sure you're totally convinced. And don't worry about the move. They'll handle the whole migration for you. No tech expertise required. Check out this link or scan the QR code to learn more. You'll also find the link in the description and in the pinned comment below. Big thanks to Kinsta for sponsoring this video. Now back to the story. An economy began to form around this new ecosystem. Theme forest, elegant themes, studio press, all of them rode the WordPress wave. Woo Themes launched WooCommerce, planting the seed of $1 billion e-commerce empire. In 2015, Automattic bought WooCommerce outright, reportedly for $30 million. Overnight, WordPress wasn't just about publishing anymore. It had become a central player in global e-commerce. But success bred tension. By 2013, WordPress was powering 1 in 5 websites, and with that dominance came friction. When WordPress 3.7 introduced background auto updates, developers applauded the security. Sysadmins, on the other hand, saw it as intrusion. Forums erupted. "Don't touch my servers without permission." Andrew Nassin defended the decision. Updates, he argued, weren't about control, they were about survival. But for many, it was a warning. WordPress wasn't just software anymore, it was infrastructure. And infrastructure meant someone was making hard choices on behalf of everyone else. Then came the customizer. Menus were forced into it. Veterans hated it. 2 developers struck back with a plugin. Customizer remove all parts. WP crap. Install it, and the customizer vanished. Tens of thousands downloaded it. Dissent had found a new language, code. But freedom has a cost. In 2014, a vulnerability in Slider Revolution spread through unpatched sites. 2 years later, researchers linked it to one of the entry points in the Panama Papers leak, one of the largest breaches in modern history. A WordPress plugin had helped topple governments. The irony was sharp. The same freedom that made WordPress thrive had also made it dangerous. The community needed a trusted source of news. They turned to WP Tavern. It had become the closest thing to an independent WordPress press. Then, in 2013, it was quietly acquired by Audrey Capital, Matt's investment firm. Writers insisted their editorial independence was intact, but the optics lingered. The founder of WordPress now owned its news outlet. And rivals noticed the contradictions. Wix released an app that included GPL WordPress code, but closed-sourced it. Matt responded with an open letter, accusing them of violating the license. Wix complied, but the rivalry deepened. By 2021, Wix was running ads mocking WordPress as a drunken, unreliable character. The community laughed. WordPress's market share barely budged, but the message was clear. The brand of freedom was also vulnerable to ridicule. Then came Gutenberg. The new block-based editor was framed as the future of WordPress, but its rollout was rocky. Reviews collapsed to 2 stars. Millions installed the Classic Editor plugin to escape it. Developers forked the software entirely, creating Classic Press. At WordCamp US in 2018, Matt was unmoved. Gutenberg, he declared, was the future, whether the community wanted it or not. Even WordCamps became battlegrounds. When the foundation banned country-named events, WordCamp Netherlands pushed back. Organizers argued that their nation was too small for city-based events to make sense. The standoff ended in compromise, but the lesson was clear: local autonomy had limits. A community-led governance project launched in 2018, promising to bring transparency, accountability, and clear rules of leadership. Within a year, it fizzled. In its place, a softer model emerged: 5 for the future. Companies pledged to contribute 5% of their resources to WordPress. Automattic contributed the most, and with that contribution came quiet influence. By the early 2020s, the block editor had spread across the platform. Widgets, menus, even entire themes were rebuilt in its image. Full-site editing replaced the customizer. Newcomers embraced it. Veterans resisted. Classic Press lingered in the shadows. WordPress was reinventing itself, but every reinvention left fractures. And then, the breaking point. September 2024. Matt calls WP Engine a cancer. Automattic severs the host's access to WordPress.org updates. Millions of customer sites begin to break. In December, a US judge forces Automattic to restore access. The ruling warns of irreparable harm, but the damage is already done. By January 2025, Automattic slashes its own contribution hours, matching WP Engine's cuts. Thousands of hours of work disappear overnight. In the spring, Automattic lays off 280 employees. In June, Matt admits his WordPress.org belongs to me remark was a mistake. But the admission comes too late. The mask has slipped. WordPress promised freedom, and in many ways it delivered: billions of sites, a global economy, a platform anyone could build on. But every freedom came with a fight: the GPL wars, the auto-update rebellion, WP crap, Gutenberg, WordCamp politics, the Wix feud, and finally, the WP Engine blockade. Each battle left scars. Each scar told the same story: freedom is never absolute. It must be defended, again and again. Today, WordPress powers more than 43% of the web. It runs newsrooms, universities, online stores, even government portals and election systems. When WordPress breaks, the internet trembles. And yet governance still flows through a single founder, a single company, and a community caught between loyalty and doubt. The paradox is clear. The web's greatest symbol of openness rests on the fragile foundation of central control. The cursor blinks, a new release waits. And the question remains, can the open web survive when its future still depends on one man's decisions?